Hey guys, it's Harry here, back again with a video today. Today I'm doing a request from a comment from the last video. Miss Kwan said, write a poem and make a video about you sharing it. Well, I'm not much of a writer myself, or poet if you want me to use the correct word, but I tried my best and wrote a poem. So before I show you the poem, I wanted to show you guys the people I shared the poem with. The first person I showed this poem to is my sister. Well, I don't really want to put her comment into the video because she's not much of a writer herself, so her comment was rather blank. It's just basically she said the poem was okay. Well, I'm using past tense here. So what she really said is the poem's okay. So I don't really want to put a blank comment like that to board the video, so I'm not going to. Well, at this point, I kind of really don't want to show my sister my poem, but looking up and down, deciding, waiting, considering should I knock on her door or not, because my sister's just gonna laugh at me reading my poem. But I decide, yeah, I'm just gonna knock on the door and give her the poem. Who care?
What do you need?
Well, as I said, her comment was quite blank, and she basically laughed at me. So yeah, I don't really want to show you guys a reaction of my sister just laughing at my poem. Well, next I share my poem to some of my friends in Vietnam, and well, when I say Vietnam, I mean my Vietnamese friend that I studied with back in Vietnam. Well, most of them is in America right now, or a different country that is not Vietnam. I managed to share to about 4 of them, 4 or 5, I do not remember. But here's the picture of me sharing it through Skype with them. I can't really record the whole, their comment or their reaction because, for some reason my recording would not record their voice, and I end up taking a picture of me just basically telling them to be quiet so I can read my poem through Skype. Well, their comment was full of swear words, so that's another reason I don't want to add their comment. Next up, the people who I shared the poem to is Yuhilian, student from our school. And I share it most to my friend, the people that I know and play with. Here are some people I shared a poem with. I cannot include everyone, sorry. But here's some people who the recording actually looked pretty okay, so I put them in. So they include Wilson, Daniel, Louis Kim, Kenny, Arthur Wang, and Mr. Kwan, Tony, and Huge. Here we go.
I'm gonna say it.
Read it. Huge, sorry my friend if I pronounce your name wrong, but I can't pronounce it, sorry. Dude, thank you, Tony. That's the best reaction I'm getting from anyone who read my poem. Huge shame from Mr. Kwan because Arthur can't read cursive. Well, I myself, I don't know why I wrote the poem in cursive. Here's some people in band that I share the poem with, so you may not know them. Louis is also in band, so you may not know him. Here we go. Once again, a person from band, so you may not know her. Hey Daniel, read my poem, dude. I also share my poem to some of our classmates. Here's Wilson, he's from my chemistry class. I met him in the morning, so I decided to share my poem to him too.
For these 3 people, while they're making the same.
Hey Long, can you read my poem?
Jerry hasn't done it.
Here's Long, one of my Vietnamese friend, my few Vietnamese friend in the school. Please ignore Jacob, he's explaining communism to someone else. He's another one of my friend, but he like his identity to be, anonymous, so he cover himself up, hide his face, wear a hat. It's kind of weird, but I'm gonna include him in a video anyway, just because it's funny. I actually read the poem to him here because, he covered up his face and he rather liked that like that. So right here, I make a ton of copy of my poem, put it on the street, let people take it and read it. Well, the reason people did take the poem, but the rack also disappeared, so my mom kind of yelled at me. Well, that's all the people I share my poem to. Hey, you're missing one person. Whoa, who are you? I'm your other you, the better one. Well, in your imagination. Well, I don't remember imagining myself looking like that. There's no way you better than me. But wait, who are you talking about? I didn't miss anyone. Well, the person who lived under your room for 1 whole year. What, you mean our tenant? No, he's weird, he's grumpy, and he screams all the time. That's why I never talked to him for like the whole year. Well, but you need to share him your poem. You never talked to him the whole year. Just go and share your poem to him. Fine. There's no point in arguing to myself anyway. Okay, slowly, open the door. Don't make any... Okay? Slowly. Sneak in. I got this. You won't hear me. I got this. Calm down myself. Okay. Got to his room. Now, let's just slowly put this poem there. Just put it in. Okay. Now I run! Run me! Run! Whew. Well, as you can see, it was quite an adventure, like giving my tenant my poem. Well, of course I didn't come and ask his comments, so I'm too scared to do that. Well, here's the comment of everyone who I share my poem with. Like, I'm so glad to be studying in U Hill because people is so supporting. They give me such nice comment. Like, they even tell me how to improve my poem. So how is it?
They suck.
It sucks.
Yo, it sucks, dude.
It
Sucks.
It's terrible. It's really bad.
Same people.
How can you be
working-
so bad?
They still work just as hard.
And here's the comment I love the best. It's like so deep. This is like the best comment I ever get.
How is it?
If you can't tell by now, I intentionally asked them to be mean to my poem. Here's the real comment from my poem. I asked the people who read my poem to be mean. And then I tell them to go to my Facebook post where I post my poem and say their real comment about my poem. Here you can see my friend like giving me reviews, and this is my Facebook post. You can go to my Facebook and read my poem and see all the informations. Well, thank you so much, guys. Like, you give me such great comments. Like, some people I study back in Vietnam, and even some people from primary school who I studied for like 8 years ago. They give me such nice comment. And before I end the video, I'm gonna explain and read the poem to you guys. So first off, I'm gonna read the poem. Well, I wrote this poem and I make a copy of it. I print it out so the printer cut some part of the poem off. So I'm gonna read that to you so it won't be confusing. And because I wrote this poem and did not edit before I printed, so that's my bad. But I'm gonna fix those grammar mistake, and like when I read the poem, you can even see the cross out part of close to the end where I cross out "oh dear." Dreams. Stumble upon a new land. Floating lights. Mysterious creature. A sight of heaven only the dead can enter. Stumble and fall. Falling for eternity. A sight of red, fire, and hell. Stumble, crashing down. failing to see reality, a sentence of death, the Grim Reaper calls. Stop, stumble toward the one, faintly a vision, a sight of God and demon. Stop, wake up, back to reality. A child, back to his war. A sense of fear run down his spine. Darkness hugs him until the dreams leave. Stop. Well, now I'm gonna explain the poem to you guys. Before that, I do not know if Miss Kwan wanted me to explain the poem or not, or just want me to give a presentation of this poem. So, please, this video gonna be 20-minute long if I actually explain it. So if you guys do not want me to explain it, just skip the explanation to the almost to the very end where I end the video off.
By almost at the very end, I mean at the minute 16 and 23 seconds. See you there.
Well, this poem is about dreams, of course. I wrote this poem in my mind, remembering of the kid back in Vietnam that I used to be. When my parents usually take me to these Asian ruin where back in old days they worship this god. Well, they worship these gods. Sorry, pardon me. They worship these god and demon. And the first stanza where stumbled upon a new land, floating like mysterious creature, a sight of heaven, only the dead can enter. It was me as a kid imagining this heaven when I enter this Asian room where only the dead can enter. But then the living can also see where this land is, this heaven. And the next stanza is stop, stumble and fall, falling for eternity, a sight of red, fire and hell. Well, I use stop here in every stanza to stop the flow because each stop is a different image, a different imagination of the boy that I was. In this stanza, I visit another room where in old days people think this is the way where you go to hell, where you can visit hell, you can see what happened in hell, where there would be fire, red, and demons. And the next stanza is basically talking about, okay, the next stanza is stumble, crashing down, failing to see reality, a sentence of death, the Green Reaper call. So back in Vietnam, people think you can go to like see hell, and then you can meet the demon, and the demon can tell you what you like. You can see your own sentence of death, like what gonna happen to you if you going to hell, and you can see your punishment, where failing to see reality here is basically looking at your punishment, looking at what you done wrong, what you could not have, you could have done to be better, and what is your like sins. The sentence of death, the Grim Reaper call, is basically the image of the Grim Reaper, the demons showing you your punishment after you die. The next stanza is stumble toward the one, faintly a vision, a sight of demon and God. This is another rune, an Asian rune, where in front of this rune there are two huge statues of a god and a demon where they guard the door. And that was, well, that was my imagination of like seeing the first time seeing the image of the god we worship and the demon. You can recognize at the last stanza where wake up back to reality, a child back to his world, a sense of fear run down his spine, darkness hugs him until the dream leave. This stanza is different from other stanza where the first three the first letter of each sentence doesn't start with an S, an F, as an A. This stanza is where I'm back to reality. I'm like no longer in the stream world, so therefore it's different. It's like distinct itself from other stanza. And this part is where basically describing my fear as a kid when I am growing up, where I come to realize there's a day I have to mature. And the thought of maturing up, I think when I have to mature, I thought that when I have to mature, I will lose this way of seeing the world, of this imagination of all the fun I have. The sense of fear running down his spine, that is the fear of me growing up. The darkness is symbolized that fear, and the dream symbolized the way I see the world as a kid. And darkness hugged him until the dream leave. That is my fear. The thought of me thinking that this fear will stay with me until I grow up, until this way of seeing the world go away and everything become boring and, well, just a blank war of reality. Well, that's the poem, guys. It's basically talk about my fear of growing up as a kid. Well, you can see now, like, is over. That fear have gone for so long because I grow up, I'm still that kid. I still see this world completely different. But I don't see it as boring. Okay, I have to stop you there, handsome man. This part is just about me yapping about the explanation. If you didn't listen to it, it's gonna be confusing. And I'm pretty sure you're not gonna listen into it because the video gonna take like 20 minutes to finish. And so I'm just gonna summarize it. The poem is about me seeing very different imagination and dreams, and there's the fear of me growing up and losing these vision of seeing these dream. And I realized as I grow up, there's nothing for me to fear at all. There's nothing, not really. And so here's, you guys can go back hearing me yapping about this explanation again. Africa, of like people who's it remind me of Vietnam, where people like climb on they tame elephant, they ride them, they use elephant in like industry and so many things. Like I used to ride an elephant, and I love it. That remind me of those times. Like growing up doesn't mean you lose that way of seeing things. It's just growing up. It's just, well, you know more. You kind of distinguish where's dream, where's reality, and where's your imagination. You can still have fun of seeing the world that way. So I'm gonna have to end my video there. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to hit that like button, and if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Tell me in the comment what should I do for my next video and how you think about my poem. Peace.